touch anything.
It's the greatest find yet. Nothing compares to it.
But it's definitely something you should hear.
This is The Real Deal with Larry Lawton.
Welcome to The Real Deal with me, Larry Lawton. I got a great guest with me today. I have Jordan from Youwager.lv. We're going to get with Jordan here in a minute. I just want to start out by saying, everybody, welcome to the show. We got the Super Bowl. We got playoffs this weekend. We got a lot of stuff, and that's why I wanted to get Jordan. I hope you all liked my video yesterday. I did a great video on actually people in prison with cell phones making wages. Is that fucking wild? I mean, think about that, guys. It's just fucking crazy. So what we're going to do here today is we're going to speak to Jordan, and he is the manager of Youwager.lv. Before I get started, check us out on YouTube member programs. Check us out on all the platforms. The book, Gangster Redemption, the cigar, reality, the Crooked Diamond cigar. They're great. And, of course, our great sponsor is Youwager.lv. And I'll tell you why they are a sponsor, because they have the best customer service and they pay, period. Let's face it. That's what this whole thing is about, because if they don't pay, I don't give a fuck what they give you. It don't work. We all know that. Well, before I get started with Jordan, a lot going on, everybody. We got sports this weekend. We got a whole bunch of shit going on. We had some great guests. We got another great guest Monday. I have Dr. Lisa Palmer, who is a psychologist, and I have some great stuff to talk to her about. The last show with Lawton Moore. What an interesting guy he was, and we got a lot of great feedback on that show. Now I am going to bring Jordan in. Jordan is the manager of, again, Youwager.lv. You see me with a hat. I don't do that often. And I will tell you what, they're a bunch of good guys, and we're having fun, and we're working on a whole bunch of things. And the reason I get sponsored by them is because, one, I believe in them. I was just with a whole bunch of people today, Jordan. I want to welcome you to the show, Jordan, first of all.
Oh, thanks for having me.
You know, Jordan, it's fun because, you know, I speak to you off air, and we speak sports. I mean, you know, I'm a sports junkie. I was in prison, and it was amazing doing a show. And you were telling me how it's, first of all, it's legal to wager to you, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It's legal to place wagers in the States. Was even before this whole legalization took off there. What's illegal is taking wagers, and that's why you don't want to go to a bookie or some illegal operation. We are 100% offshore, and it's illegal where we are to take your bets, and it's legal where you are to place bets. And so it works out for everybody.
Oh, so there's no illegal, like somebody can't get in trouble for this with anybody like that with their credit card or anything like that?
Not at all, no.
Oh, man, that's good to know. And obviously, when I looked at it, you guys advertise other places, so you guys are legit. It's not like, oh, you're dealing with a guy that they're just offshore because they're offshore. Listen, I'd like to be offshore too, so I don't have to pay taxes. But
a lot of legit businesses are offshore, and we're one of them. We've been in Costa Rica since 1998, so a really long time. Free same-day payouts since we opened the doors. Not a lot of people
when you say that, Jordan, when you say that, give my listeners a meaning of that. You know, I got it a little bit. When you say free same day, if I win a bet today, I bet a basketball game tonight, and I win, so I can get paid tomorrow.
Or today, right? You can go on. You can request payouts from a lot of different ways. You can get crypto right to your account, transferred over. We can mail you a check. We've got a lot of different ways to get you your money back in your hands, because winning doesn't mean anything until you actually see the money and can spend it, you know?
Absolutely, man. You know, that makes a great point. You know, I had a guy once tell me, you know, man, I won a lot of money. I said, well, did you get it? You know, it's coming, but I have to wait a week. I said, what do you mean you got to wait a week? Why do you got to wait a week? It's your fucking money. Did you win it or didn't you? You know? And, yeah, I'm not that bad, though, you know, in a wreck. Do you hear an echo?
No. Do you hear an echo?
I got a little bit, but nothing that's going to, you know, make it that bad. But anyway, so the guy told to me, he goes, hey, Larry, he goes, I fucking I hear it now, Nick, but that's okay. This is live. This is the real deal, Jordan, and we call it that because whatever the fuck happens, and we like it like that. People love it. When we get CEOs, we get people that go, You guys are the real deal. You are the real deal. You don't, it is what it is. We're normal guys. We're normal people. And I do that. I do hear that, Nick. What is that? Is it mine? Okay, why is it my head? Oh, okay. So is that better? No. I mean, so there's no, what do you mean, it never happened before. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. Keep trying to figure that out if you could. Headset down better? No, can't go. He can't. I couldn't even hear myself. So is that better? See, you get that little bit. All right, that's all right. Fuck it. We're good enough. Anyway, Jordan. So when a guy said to me he can't get paid or it's going to take a week, why do they do that? Are they just wanting to win back their money?
A lot of places slow pay or try to win back their money, or yeah. I don't know. We don't practice that. So
Jordan, I want you to give the listeners a little bit of an idea who Youwager is. Obviously, you've been with them for how long?
I'm going on 11 years.
Wow,
So,
you've been with them 11
quite a while.
years. Yeah, you've been with them 11 years, and you've never had an issue ever. Have you ever seen an issue?
I mean, what kind of issue? Not really. We've been in business, been a staple of this business for many years.
Man, you sound great. That's good. All right, so let's get right down to what we're here to do. We're here to talk about sports. We're here to talk about the playoffs this weekend. We're also here to talk about the Super Bowl. And what I'm learning from you, Jordan, is there's prop bets, and these prop bets are where you could really make money. Now, listen, I very rarely do full shows, but the reason I wanted to do this show on what we're doing is because my brother and I do sports a lot, and we love fucking sports. We're junkies ourselves. We like to bet. I'm not a crazy bettor, but I like to bet, and I like to fucking, watch the game. Listen, I play golf. I've never played golf in my life without betting on the game. I don't care who I played against. I don't care if it's a pro or not, because there's a handicap. Well, football has got a handicap, obviously. You and I talked off air about, obviously, San Francisco and Purdy and the quarterback. Let's get into a little bit of sports before we get into who you're picking. Because I'm picking Kansas City, and I'm still picking. I love my man Mahomes, and I love Kansas City. I think it's going to be a great next 2 weeks, I guess. Is it 2 weeks? Isn't there a week off for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, you got the Pro Bowl in there before the Super Bowl.
Wow, it used to be back when I was a kid. It used to be afterwards. It used to be like a couple weeks after the Super Bowl was the Pro Bowl.
They give him a couple weeks to prepare and get healthy, I guess. It's good. It'll be good for Mahomes with that injury. A couple more weeks will go a long way, right?
What do you think about that injury? I was going to ask you. That was one of my key questions on my pad. What did you think about his injury?
I mean, it's a high ankle sprain. He says he's playing. Chad Henne came in. He's got a lot of experience. He looked good in his absence, but you're really betting on Mahomes, and I think Mahomes will do all right. I don't think the injury will affect him as much as people think. He'll be game ready, and I can't believe Kansas City is getting points at home. I mean, the Bengals are favored right now.
What's the line right now?
Up to the minute, it's at 1.5 right now.
Wow.
I've seen it go from 2 one side to 2 the other side, so I imagine it'll bounce around a little bit before the game.
Yeah, wherever the money goes, people don't know that. Money moves lines is what it does in Vegas, and I'm sure everywhere. But, Jordan, what made me, they were rooting, of course, for Cincinnati, because when Cincinnati won, they got the home field. Otherwise, it would have been in a neutral site, I think it was, if Buffalo won. And I didn't get that, actually. Why was it a neutral site? Was something wrong with the field?
It's because they canceled the game week 17, one of the last games of the season, the Buffalo match. They didn't play it because of the injury to DeMar, and so because of that, they said nobody could have the better record there, so if they met in the playoffs, it would be on a neutral field.
Wow.
I think they were planning on playing it in Atlanta, but that won't happen now.
Yeah, well, I do know everybody. Let them know the Super Bowl is always either in a dome or a warm weather spot. They don't want weather to really ruin the Super Bowl. Be a weather bowl, something like that. But so you picked, and you and I, talked for a while, and you picked San Francisco. I remember that.
I liked San Francisco against KC in the Super Bowl, and I still like that.
You think it's going to be a KC San Francisco Super Bowl?
I do. I like my original picks.
what about Philly? They seem to be really gelling. They blew out the Giants. I mean, blew them. Listen, I didn't think the Giants belonged to be there, to be honest with you. And I'm a New York
Exactly.
guy. So,
And the Giants and Eagles know each other really well, and that's not a very good test. And I'm not sure how injured Hurts is still. You know, probably not as injured as Mahomes, but we didn't have to see because he really didn't have to put the team on his back in that one. So we'll see what happens against San Francisco. Every level of San Francisco's defense is better than the Giants,
yeah,
and they're going to come and
obviously,
play.
but you know what I also look at, Jordan, is all of these quarterbacks at the end of the year are hurt. I mean, they're on the third quarterback in San Francisco. Obviously, Hurts got Eagles got hurt. So did Mahomes get hurt. And I don't know about Cincinnati. I don't know what's going on there. Is there an injury report on that you can report to anybody?
No, I think Burrow's pretty healthy. Actually, he might be the healthiest of the bunch.
Yeah. And,
Birdie.
and I'm a believer in this. I really do. I believe that the quarterback means more in football than any, the head of a team, best player, whatever you want to call it, the general on the field or whatever you want. But then again, people say, well, then why didn't Brady do it or whatever it is? And I just think Brady's done. I mean, I personally do. Come on. At what time are you going to retire? He's 40 fucking 5. Are you going to wait for Social Security?
I hope he does. I really hope he does. They're talking about him going to Miami. Let's hope not.
I don't want to see the guy get hurt either. It's like almost like a lot of sports, they go too long. Boxing, it was a big noted about that. I'm a big boxing fan. I used to sponsor boxers, and I did a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, one of my guests coming up is going to be ex-cruiserweight champ Mark Randazzo. He beat Irish Danny Morgan in the title, and I gave him a Rolex back when I was a gangster. That's a great story. But boxers stay too long, and before you know it, they're punchy as hell. And I think football can be the same way. Let's face it, Jordan. These quarterbacks take a fucking hit, man. You're taking a guy who's 250, 260, can run a 4.3 or 4.4 40 and fucking lay you out. I mean, that's no joke.
Oh, yeah. They take hits. They take blindside hits. They take hits they don't even see coming, which a lot of sports, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. And do you guys have like full injury reports on your site? So, I mean, did you do all that? Or do you give it, are you an information site as well?
No, we're a sports betting site, but we do offer the streaming as well, so you can go into in-game and watch the game and live bet on it underneath. But as far as information goes, there's a lot of information sites you can go to out there.
Nah, but you're not giving it. You don't want to give it. But, Jordan, how. Listen,
go to ESPN. They got everything, right?
But Jordan, you're pretty. Listen, I talk to a lot of sports guys. You are very knowledgeable about all sports. Obviously, this is your business, obviously. And Youwager. I use them. I think they're great. I think you guys have a great a team of people. And again, what really shocked me is you guys actually answer the phone immediately. And you know what I told the guy? I was at a card game the other day, and I said, they go, Larry, you wager. Why do you like? I said, here's why. I'm not a tech guy. A lot of my brother's not a tech guy. If you want to just call the fucking number and say, listen, I want to put $500. Larry's show told me to go, and I want that bonus. You could call them and they'll do it.
Oh, yeah. We're 24/7, 365 wagering, customer support, anything you need. Pick up the phone, talk to us. We love sports, We live sports down there, so it's fun.
Wow. Yeah, and I think that's amazing. Yeah, I think what I agree with 100% with that. And so I look at that as, hold on, take these out, and then you'll see how we better now. No, not much, but we're good. And, I forgot that we were doing that, but that's okay. But anyway, Jordan, you got any prop bet? Okay, let me ask you a question. First of all, you believe this weekend Kansas City getting 1.5 right now is a good bet?
I like that play a lot. I can't believe Kansas City's getting points at home, even with the Mahomes injury. He says he's playing, and they're still getting points. I mean,
well, it's so early. We're doing this a little bit early, and obviously, I think it's amazing that he's. Listen, that guy wouldn't want to get off the field. I love that kid. I don't know what I like. 3 quarterbacks in football, really. I like Mahomes. I'm loving this kid for Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence is good. They're going to be great next year. Next year,
Yep.
you give him a true number one in Calvin Ridley coming back. Kirk can become the number two. You keep Marvin Jones there, and all of a sudden, ETN is the real deal. If ETN went at the end of that draft, he's got like Reggie Bush caliber skills. He would have, 10 years ago, he would have been a top 5 pick. Just they don't take running backs there anymore.
They used
He's
to. You're
really
right.
good.
You're right. You're right. And it's all about quarterbacks now, obviously, or a great receiver or somebody like that. But I just love him because he never had a coach, and he didn't quit. And I think now he's got a team around him, or at least a coach that educates as well. I
A
don't know who
great
their
coach.
offensive coordinator is either, but that's got to be the one.
Yeah, no, they're
You know,
really good. I really like them next year. I'm interested to see what the line is on them winning that division because I don't see the Colts doing much. I don't. We'll see what happens in the offseason and who they pick up. Houston's definitely in a rebuild. Tennessee seems to be like they're going to be switching quarterbacks or they're on the decline a little bit. Henry's taken a lot of mileage so far. I like the Jacksonville to win that one. We'll
I
see what
mean,
the line is.
I live right here, so I guess I'm a Jacksonville fan, if you want to call it that. I mean, I'm really not a fan. Whoever I bet on, I'm a fan of. But I like when you said that there because I looked at all the teams that are coming up, and I'm looking at the teams that were really coming on strong. The Detroits, I think the Jets personally, and I think the Giants played way over their heads. In
I
my
agree.
opinion, I mean, looking at their teams. I'm saying I didn't get it. Maybe listen, that's good coaching too. I saw
The
coaching this
Giants
year.
was great coaching. The
Yeah,
Jets have a very young, very talented roster. They need to work out the quarterback situation, but they are deep. And that's what happens when you get top round picks, every single year. You build
hey,
a
that's
pretty
not a
deep
good.
team.
That's not even.
Jacksonville did the same thing.
Well, yeah, but you still got to do something with it. You see that go on for years and years and years, and they just fucking blow it away or something. Here's a question: if you were a bettor and you wanted to take a long shot, put $100 on a team to win the Super Bowl, next year. I mean, is that's got good odds. I'm not talking one of the top 5 teams that you think are going to do it. Who would be a sleeper you would pick?
Well, you mentioned Detroit, and we'll see how they draft. They have a lot of picks. They got 5 picks in the first 2 rounds of this next draft. On top of that, they got a shutdown corner in Akung and Hutchinson. That defense, you put 5 defensive pieces on that defense, they could be good, and the offense is already there. I think Detroit is going to be really, really good next year.
Does the odds come out for winning the Super Bowl early? When do they come out? Before the draft or after the draft?
Generally, right after the draft.
Okay, so I was just wondering because, like, can you take? Yeah, I read the papers and we, all follow the news. So how about that guy they call him Mattress somebody for?
Mattress Mac.
Is that his name, Mattress Mac? That
Mattress
dude
Mac.
is like he won. How much money did he win last year?
I
70
don't know.
million or some
He
crazy
places
fucking
some
number.
huge bets, though.
Yeah, but I mean, listen,
He's
the
from
guy won.
Houston.
Yeah, I don't know what he does. Fucking to
He owns
place bet.
furniture stores. That's why he's Mattress Mac. He owns a
Eh,
chain of furniture stores in Texas.
Well, they must be selling a lot of fucking furniture, fucking making the bets he's making, man. I'll tell you that. But they would ask it. I think he's betting on Kansas City, if I'm mistaken.
It's a good bet. I actually like. I like. You can parlay player props. You've asked me about props a couple times. You can
Yeah,
parlay
yeah.
player props with the actual game. So I mean, I would take Kansas City to win, Mahomes to throw for over 240 yards, Kelsey to catch 1 touchdown, and Kelsey to catch for over 80 yards as a 4-team parlay that is game script dependent. If one thing happens, probably all of them are going to happen, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I was telling somebody about that too. I said, you could make your own parlay. And they go, what do you mean? I go, you could pick whatever you want and make it happen. I mean, the odds are going to be the odds. Obviously, if it's Mahomes throwing 10 passes, complete or whatever, it's going to be, 1,000-1 that he don't. And the only way you lose that is if he gets hurt and he gets out of the game.
Or more, but yeah, they jump up. The Mahomes jumps up by like 20 yards. I think you can take him to throw for 200 yards, 220, 240, all the way up into the 300s, and you get the odds based on that. And I really like parlaying player props together. You pick a receiver and a quarterback. You parlay those together with the over. Shoot for the fences with some big numbers, and
Shit,
if the
one
game's
bomb.
gonna go over, the The best receiver is going to go over the amount of yards you pick, and the quarterback's going to go over that. So
I was just going to say a couple bombs and you'll win the game. Do you know Mattress Mike, my producer, just showed me Mattress Mike bet $2 million on the Cowboys to beat Frisco. And that's $2 million out.
yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know
He
what
clearly
he's
didn't talk to me first.
Did you how did you honestly, all bullshit aside, listen, gamblers, listen, I always tell people bet, and I love to bet because it's a lot of fun, but it's not a money-making proposition to go pay your rent. We all know that. I mean, I don't want to ever tell
it's
people,
entertainment.
Absolutely, it's a bunch of entertainment, and it is great entertainment, and I love it because like I said, I bet on it. That's me. What have you won? Honestly, or is it an after the fact? I mean, you're not one of those guys that say, "Oh, I knew fucking Frisco was going to win." Come on, it's a game. Because then when the guys
told you.
Yeah, I know you did. I'm just fucking with you. Because what if you did good this weekend? Because I'll tell you what, I thought this weekend was tough. I picked Kansas City, laying the 8.5, and they win by what a bullshit fucking.
I lost
field
that
goal.
one as well.
Yeah, because the bullshit field goal.
Terrible.
A 49-yard field goal makes it too.
40-yard down by what, 10 just to cover at the end? Like, come on.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Here's another one. I heard Mattress Mike hedges his bets for tax write-offs for his furniture store so that his prices are so low. Did you hear that? Is that crazy?
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. My producer's going over a whole bunch of shit and showing me this Mattress Mike stuff. I'm like, wow, this guy's pretty interesting. Mattress Mac, yeah. You also picked. Obviously, you picked the Giants to get blown out by Philly. Right. Yeah, I mean that was that. Listen to me. If you bet that game, Jordan, you could go to bed probably at the end of the first quarter. I mean it. It was such a dominating performance.
Now this one, I like the 49ers in this game. I like getting points with them. I'm not nearly as sure about this one as I was about the Giants game.
Oh, you mean the game against Philly?
This one coming up is going to be a much better game. It should be a lot closer. I just like getting the points.
What is the line on it?
Let me check you for up-to-date lines.
Yeah, that'd be good. Because, hey, everybody, you got to listen.
-2.5.
We're talking sports with Jordan, who's the general manager of Youwager.lv, Youwager.lv. Listen, if you go there and you check on one of the links below what you do, and they're giving you, if you're a first-time player with them, they're going to give you 70%. So if you put $100 up, you get 170 if you just use my promo code Lawton. And again, just go there, call them. And I did have one person.
That's the best deal in the industry, really. Sorry,
really
to cut you off. That's a 70%.
No, go ahead.
70% free play, and the big thing about it, it has no hold on it, and it's only a one-time rollover. So you can come in, bet what you want, get $70 for every 100 that you put up, and take your shot, and then try out the free same-day payouts. I promise you, if you win, once you get paid, you'll want to come back. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
It's true. Listen, I want people who gamble to come here because listen, I did a video, like I was telling the audience earlier, on the guys in prison, and they listen to this now. We're finding out as well. And I get a kick out of these fucking guys having cell phones in prison. Like when I was in prison, Jordan, it was a escape charge, literally an escape charge. And now they're catching, you see guys, 300 cell phones found. What the fuck are they doing there? They said, what, they got a fucking a Motorola store on the fucking grounds or some shit. But it's amazing that they're doing it. And I'm glad. Listen,
we get a lot of calls from people who are locked up.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's great. Listen, if that could keep people from killing each other, and if it keeps some people from entertainment. Listen, I know people saying, Larry, you not so. Listen, if a guy's a scumbag, he's a scumbag. I don't care what he did. But if the guy, is a drug dealer and he got caught and he's this, and he can have a little entertainment, fuck, I'd give him the fucking phone. But, I mean, obviously I'm not the warden. But do you get guys that win, too? I mean, obviously.
Oh, yeah. There's always
how does it work? I mean, they call, obviously. Do you have to hit the number 5? Because, in prison, if you get a call from a prison, the person getting the call has to hit number 5.
Okay, I guess normally they're calling us from those burner phones, and we don't get the prison recording thing in there very often,
I
right?
thought you said you did one time. That's why I
No,
was
one
asking.
one time. It's not a very often
Oh,
thing, right? That cracked me up when it happened too.
I get
You
it.
get a
I
lot
get it.
of that. You get a lot of people calling for them, like some guy's girl calling to place his bets for him because they just bet up, and that's fine too. We'll take that. You know.
Wow, I love it. I'm glad you guys are out there. I'm glad it's got to the level it has because it's such a fucking not. I'd call it a victimless. If it's not even a crime, we know that, but it should be legalized everywhere. Obviously, it's not.
I
So that's
agree.
why you get. I mean, it's to me, it's the biggest bullshit. Every one of these states do lottery. And they do fucking dog tracks, or they do fucking horse tracks, and they do all this shit, casinos, that are some bullshit, but they don't want people to, bet on sports. It was just the most bet thing in the world. Actually, I read a thing just before your show that the March Madness is the biggest betting thing in the world. I didn't know that either. I mean,
I
I
don't know. I
guess.
don't know about in the world. I think in the world we're talking about soccer and cricket, but in North America, it's probably football and March Madness. For us, it's football first and March Madness is secondary. But
Oh, is it football first? So the Super Bowl the biggest day you have?
biggest day is going to be the start of the first week of football. Everybody's
Oh,
coming in to bet that first week of regular season, right? Not preseason.
wow. I didn't know that. That's something. So your biggest day is the first day of football season,
First
NFL.
week of football. And even
Yeah,
though the
first week.
games get better, like now there's less games, so it's not as big for us, you know? Super Bowl's great, but it's only one game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's why I said I guess March Madness. Maybe the number was they take in the most money because
Could
obviously
be.
you got so many fucking games and people go to March Madness. I have a bunch of friends that go there for like a week or something. Like they'll go up to. I mean, I can't even imagine going up. I'll probably either be broke or real rich. I mean, I can't fucking
We
go to
and we do
Vegas.
we do fun things. March Madness is a really fun time. We put our brackets up and we have competitions and the players get to play against the rest of our database and see who had the closest bracket and we give out prizes. There's a lot of free stuff like that. And
So,
so
do you
it's a
have
good
any
time.
pools, like big pools that, like, you get in, like, you pick a pool and you can win $1 million or some shit?
Yeah, we have pools for sure. The $1 million we do for the March Madness perfect bracket, but nobody's ever hit that one, of course.
Hey, yeah, oh yeah, I bet. Here's a
That's
question.
hard.
I wonder if that anybody's ever hit that in any time. That's a good one. I mean,
Uh,
anybody.
yeah, if you look up, I don't think so. If you look up the numbers on the March Madness bracket, they're pretty astronomical. Like you'd be surprised.
No, no, I wouldn't. I'm probably not surprised on that one. So in March, man, let's get back to the Super Bowl because we got that coming up. After this weekend, we're gonna have the Super Bowl. Are you guys gonna have the boxes? Where you could put.
Yes,
Yeah, I love
squares.
that. Yeah, the square you call it the squares
Yeah,
because I'm definitely I play those. I won once. I don't know how many. I was $1,000, not $1,000 buy. I won $6,000. I won 2,000 at the half and 4,000 at the final. And I'll never forget the game. It was New York Giants, I think in Denver, and I had 0-9. Giants, and the Giants had 9. They ended up down 10-9 at the half with a sack by I think Jim Burt or somebody like that. And then after that, it was they did that, and then they ended up winning the game 39-20. The Giants. I'll never forget. I was fucking going crazy. I remember giving the guy who ran the pool a case of scotch too. The but it
nice.
was yeah. They have a pool. I don't know if you know this, Jordan, in New York in Manhattan, and it's $10,000. It's $1 million, winner take all, and they have a big party for them. And I know guys who were in it, and it's amazing. It's offshore. Well, obviously the money is done offshore. I think actually literally offshore, like just past the 3 mile zone. And what they do is it's a one time. They have a big party, and for 100 people. I guess everybody gets a guest or 200 people, and it's a big affair. And people figure it to be like let's watch the Super Bowl with all these people. We have a shot. Who knows? They do the picking of the numbers that right before the game, and it's like a big deal. And I don't know if you ever heard of anything that big,
No, that sounds fun though.
doesn't it? I mean,
Sounds
really.
like a
I
good
mean, I
Super
don't
Bowl
know if I'd
party.
want to put up 10 grand off of that, but I do
It's a
get it.
lot.
Yeah, I mean, just to lose. Let's face it, the odds of that, and especially when you're not playing quarters, you're playing the final game. I mean, you
Full
get a
game.
fucking stupid number like fucking, I don't know, 0-0. That's a bad number for a fucking. It's great number when you open up. Bad number when you're fucking for a final. You can't. What are you gonna be 30-20? That can
30,
happen.
20, maybe.
I mean, that's about it. I mean, I can't see anything else. 40, no.
You don't want
how
the
does it
fives. Anytime you get fives, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I
Fives
think
is
five
15, 25,
five is
30,
the worst
35
number.
you can get. 35 not. I mean, it's 5 touchdowns. So, but today's world they miss extra points. Like I fucking missed the
That's
fucking
crazy.
toilet bowl with my fucking pisser. But it's
Did you see
fucking
Maher 5 extra points in one game? It's ridiculous. I couldn't believe it.
That's a record. That was a record. You're talking. I'm
5 in a
surprised.
row.
I'm surprised
Over
the
2
guy's not
games.
fired. I'm surprised the guy's not fired.
I couldn't believe they signed another coach and then they let him kick it and he comes out and he gets the next one blocked and he's still the kicker, right?
It blew me away. You're right. They got to do. I could not believe that, and especially the owner there. He don't give a fuck. He's gonna fire everybody. That's what I would think.
He had a really good year though. A really good year.
He did, and he had injuries, and then they came back. You remember they had a lull there for a minute, and then they came back and did well. But who knows? I look at franchises with these owners. I don't know if the owner involved means anything anymore. I'm just thinking it's all about coaching and the quarterback. I'm not kidding. I think if I was an owner and I had a lot of money, I'm going to just concentrate on getting a great coach. And it doesn't mean a college coach like fucking Urban Myers who fucked up Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, no. I mean, he hurt him, if anything. He tried fucking Tim Tebow. He tried Tim Tebow. Fucking Urban Meyer. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's another one. Saban. Right?
Saban set the Dolphins back like a decade.
Just because you're a great high school, a college coach doesn't mean you got a bunch of different egos, a lot of money, you got different salary.
It's totally different. You can't recruit.
Yeah, and not only that, Jordan, you're dealing with a whole different level of people that you can't just rah them. I mean, don't get me wrong. The great coaches, the Belichicks and the Parcells and stuff like that, knew how to, let's face it, manipulate old men or good men and to make it happen. And now you're seeing it. I mean, I think New England is just because of him. I don't know how long he's going to be there as a coach. When's he retiring? I mean, he's been around forever, man. Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, he could coach for quite a while longer, but we'll see if he wants to. I think Brady won one without him. I think he wants to prove that he can win one without Brady, and he's got a little bit longer to try.
Well, he's a great coach, and his defense is great. Obviously, they spent a ton of money on their defense, and they got a great defense. But they didn't come up like they did last year. I didn't think as well. And what happened to their quarterback? Their quarterback the year before, I thought was going to be a superstar, and Jones, wasn't it?
Mac Jones.
And what happened to him?
I don't know. The sophomore slump. People had seen tape on him. He's trying to work the system. It just didn't work.
Yeah, these defenses are tough. They're fast and they're smart. And that's why I'm giving you a lot of props for picking Purdy right now, because I still thought Dallas's defense, as good as they were, and I still think they were, they fucking didn't do anything to him. I mean, he had a good game against them, and that really shocked me, to be honest with you. I really was very shocked about that. And, I mean, I don't know. Let's get to some prop bets. How's that? Let's jump on some prop bets for this weekend. This weekend, you have 2 great games. Tell the people the lines on the games. And listen, do you worry about over and unders until the game because of the weather? Or
I generally wait and play those late, especially when there could be weather because you don't know, right?
Yeah, because you're like Kansas City's in the outdoors, isn't it? Yeah. Yep, they're
Kansas
outdoors.
City's outdoor.
And then what's the other game?
And Philly as well.
Yeah, Philly. They're both outdoors, right?
Outdoors as well.
So if you get some bad weather, you got to throw the under in there. I don't know what the under goes, but did you know all 4 games?
See, a lot of people.
Under?
A lot of people think that if you get bad weather, you play the under. But that's bad. We're talking about blizzard weather in that case. If it's just bad weather, it generally favors the offense over the defense. The defense will be sliding around a little bit more. I mean, if it's too windy to throw the ball, okay, under. But if it's just a little bit of sleet or a little slick or something, it's harder on the defense to make tackles and to get there because they're the ones reacting and they're the ones who are having to move on a dime more, and so you actually play the under or the over if it's bad weather, but not really bad weather.
Makes sense. And I was just really, all 4 games last weekend went under. All 4 games. Both games on Saturday, both games on Sunday were unders. I didn't pick that. I mean, I thought both teams averaged 30 points, I think, a game, and then that was fucking under 40 something. I mean,
I loved the Jacksonville over. Kansas City, Jacksonville. I thought that was definitely
that's the
over.
game. That's the game I was talking about.
I still think that it would have probably had it not been for the Mahomes injury. That it was just.
I don't think that
happened.
First of all, he was back in the third quarter.
But the way he was throwing, I mean, he was he couldn't put a lot of weight on that back foot. They definitely weren't hurling it the way they could have been.
Well, people don't know he's a good runner too. Absolutely. When he wants to run, he's very good, And I think all these quarterbacks become good runners because they have to. I'm not saying how great it is for their career. I mean, the great quarterbacks ever, Brady was not a runner. I don't think he fucking ever ran. And I look at quarterbacks, like that had, predecessors that helped them, whether it was Steve Young, who had Montana, and obviously Montana wasn't such a great runner, but Young was. So, you take some of those guys, I think they just pick up on the good parts of a great quarterback. And then the runners, they never last. I mean, you could look at them from Cunningham to Michael Vick to all of them. They don't last. I can't see them lasting. They're getting hit too big, man. And I don't care what you tell me, Jordan. That's got to take a toll on you. I don't, listen,
Look, Brady survived forever, and he doesn't run at all. When Brady retires, I'm really going to miss one of my favorite prop bets, which is the over and under on Brady, 1 rushing yard. And I take the under.
No way.
I take the under every single game. Occasionally, he'll get one of those snakes, but not even anymore.
Are you serious? You
under one.
That's a real bet. You're not bullshitting us.
That's a real bet.
And
every game, lay it every game all season. And
holy fuck, I never thought that. If you told me a quarterback won't get 1 yard, I'd say get the fuck out of it. I'll bet every time over.
He doesn't run it. I mean, how often does he really run it? He for years now.
Wow, I never thought that. I mean, really, I get it, but I never thought listen, come on, the guy fucking rolls out and he fucking got 1 yard to get the first down. I mean, you don't fucking do. Well, you're right. I'm trying to think. Yeah, he was not a runner. I get it.
Brady, I mean, he gets run down by defensive ends. Do you see him rolling out very much?
Yeah.
Especially next year. If he comes back, I'm laying that on every single game.
I really hope he don't. I hope he goes out. Listen, I've been watching him for 20 years, and he's the best quarterback I ever seen. Bar none. I mean, the way he read defenses. And I watched Fran Tarkenton. I watched some of the great ones way back, Starbuck and
it's pretty good.
Peyton Manning and I mean, from Jim Kelly's to I don't care who they are. I watched them. I mean, in football, and I just think the quarterbacks were. I used to love the one who was a pretty good runner, McMahon for Chicago. If you remember him, the fucking headband and fucking, he was a pretty good. I know my listeners are saying, "Who's that?" They're probably looking him up right now. He was a Chicago quarterback. He fell off the radar. I don't know what the fuck he's done. As does William Perry, if you remember that. I don't hear from them. I mean, at all. I don't know what they do. They're not in the boots. They're not anyway. You don't see them signing shit. I mean, I know some guys who follow the circuit and they collect cards and collect a lot of memorabilia. I was a big memorabilia collector. I don't know if you knew that.
Me too.
I got signed lithographs from Joe DiMaggio, one of 250 and one of 500. And I mean, videoed and all that. Back in 94 before I went to prison, I used to get rid of money that way. And I actually had a baseball signed by the 1927 Yankees, which is Miller Huggins, Babe Ruth, unbelievable. And then I also had a basketball, original Dream Team basketball, Molten basketball, signed by the original Dream Team, which was '92, which was Christian
Wow.
Leitner, if you remember that. He
Oh
was the
yeah.
college player from Duke who was on that team, and I have that. And I ended up having to sell some of that stuff for legal fees, for my bad choices in life. But now I just love memorabilia. Matter of fact, my son, you know him, he has every single baseball card from 19, I think 60 something. His grandfather and we used to buy him the whole Don Russ and the tops, the whole boxes that was 700 something
Box
cards.
set.
Yeah, and we'd leave, they was stored and that's it. And then you closets full of those cards.
Did you leave them
And
wrapped?
yep, absolutely. A matter of fact, we had the Nolan Ryan. I remember buying my father-in-law bought 10 Nolan Ryan rookies at the time, and it was $1,800 each one. And
Wow.
he had a lot of money, and it was amazing because you think about, wow, what cards are worth? What is a Nolan Ryan rookie worth today? Think about Nolan Ryan. You think about the Ryan Express, and you think about. I remember him with 6 no hitters, and nobody got fucking come close to that guy.
Oh,
Not
he's
a
one of
great,
the greatest,
not a
if
great
not the great.
ERA, not a great ERA. Obviously, Tom Seaver and some of the great pitchers of fucking Bob Gibson, and I can go on and on
Greg
about pitchers.
Maddux.
Maddox was one of the best ball placers I've ever seen in baseball. He didn't throw heat, he didn't do it, but he could put the ball anywhere on that fucking. And I don't know if that's just his reputation, and then the umpires gave him a lot of shit. I always look at that and say, it's getting to the point, and you know this. You watch baseball, I'm sure. You watch every sport like I do,
Watch it all.
and you watch a guy come in, Jordan, in that box. I'm waiting for the day I think sports is going to come with baseball. It's going to be in a box. It's going to come up on the fucking screen, strike,
Well,
ball.
they're already talking about bringing in the electronic or AI refs, right? And so then the strike zone isn't going to be a matter of interpretation anymore. It's going to be, did the ball go there or not?
Yeah.
And that's really really close.
Well, they're doing things in baseball. Obviously, listen, I'm a sports junkie, so it's easy, but it's so hard to go from football. Now you're in basketball, obviously, and in hockey, which is a speed. I just went I watched the Rangers the other day. I was in New York, and I love that.
I
And then
love
you go,
hockey.
oh, so do I. My son is a big, big, big. You probably talked to him, mega hockey fan. He's drove to Canada to go to hockey games, from New York, and I mean New York
I
City.
love betting hockey too. Betting hockey is one of the best. The lines don't move. It's always 1.5 goals. You know,
And you
you
know what
get
I
the
like
puck
about
line.
them? You bet. I used to bet at mid game, and you'd bet. You'd see a team down 2-1. Bet they're going to lose by 2. 1.5, and sure enough, empty netters happen a lot. And you
Well,
don't realize
nowadays
it.
with analytics, they're pulling the goalies a lot sooner. So you're right. You get a ton of empty netters. So if a team's going to lose by 1, they're going to lose by 2, unless it goes to overtime. And just know that, and it bakes in, and it makes live betting hockey a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, live betting, hockey live, going to the game is by far the best sport I've ever been to. And, going to watch a live hockey game.
Oh
And I
yeah.
took my son to his first game. It was a Devils game. We were sitting on the boards, and they checked someone and knocked the beer all over us, and, on the board. And he'd never forget that. He's 6 years old. And it was right before I went away on vacation, a long vacation. But it was funny that we remember sports like that. I love talking to people who know sports like you. Obviously, you know 'em better than me, I'm sure.
I
But
don't
just
know.
because you
You know
live in it,
pretty well.
yeah. But come on, Jordan, you're pretty good. You know about injury reports. You know about stuff that matters. And that's why I asked earlier, what's the best prop bet you would give somebody this weekend? This weekend, I'm talking tomorrow and Sunday, the 2 games. Give me a bet that you'd say, "Hey, mom, you got fucking my allowance. I want to put that on it."
Give me Travis Kelce to score a touchdown, because it doesn't matter if it's Mahomes or they bring Henney in. Henney's going to rely on him, and Travis Kelce is a gamer. Same thing. Give me Jamar Chase. 1 touchdown for Jamar Chase. I would probably even parlay those two together. Jamar Chase is a gamer.
So you think I get it. I mean, but it has to be a touchdown, not one of the other guys. What do you do? I mean, obviously you lose the game if they get blanketed by they get 10 points or something. And what's the odd? Obviously a field goal don't mean shit. So all of a sudden, man, I think those games and those prop bets you're talking about, you almost know if you're gonna win within the first period, first quarter.
That's why I like live betting. It's not for the player props like that, but sometimes it's better to live bet a game. You can always bet what's left of the game, and you come out and you see who looks flat and who doesn't, and then bet the rest of the game. And after one drive a piece by each team, you have a pretty good idea of how this is going to look.
You really do how the offensive line's getting held up or whatever it is. And it's funny because I do that with basketball too. In basketball, you kind of get a groove. Although there's a lot of swings in basketball, right away who's hot, who's really not giving it all their all. And let's face it, they're playing 82 games basketball. You can't be up for every game. I don't give a fuck what you tell me. I'm gonna give him. You just can't. I mean, football is a whole different animal. And I like the fact, like you said, the prop bets of. I also think like you take a guy like in Frisco is McCaffrey. How many touches is he going to get? What is that now? Do you know over and under on McCaffrey touches, or do they have that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
they'll have yards, touches. They'll have all that.
Now, do they only do that with the main players?
The bigger the game, the more players you get, and so basketball, you get pretty much everybody who's going to see the court, and then football, it's just. I mean, you're not going to have the third string running back on there.
Yeah.
You can't bet the under on the third string running back not touching the ball if that's what you're thinking.
Well, I was actually, and it's funny, we were talking about prop bets the other day, and you were telling me about Super Bowl because I love the Super Bowl and I want people to think about this. You told me some fucking wild shit, if you remember it, like what you can bet in the Super. I know you can bet the coin.
There's so many
the coin
thousands.
Toss.
So many
but there's you gave me a few, and I said no. I never. I actually walked away thinking, no way, that can't be a bet. I'm trying to think of what it was, and it was like it's not the coin toss, of course. It was
the one I like for Super Bowl is will one team score 3 times in a row? Because it happens every time. Even in that Rams Super Bowl that was terrible, that was like, 13-3 or something?
Right.
One team scored 3 times in a row. Happens almost every football game.
Really? And you think that's not, I mean, you told me they can bet on the color of the Gatorade.
You can bet the color of the Gatorade.
That's the one that I was just thinking, what? I get the fuck out of here. What do you mean the color? Man, all I need is one guy on that one. Put the fucking Gatorade in there. That's all I want.
The color of the Gatorade that's dumped on the coach at the end of the game.
Yeah, now you got people don't get this. You better pick the right team to begin with because the Gatorade's not getting dumped on the losing coach. So that's out. So you better pick the winner first.
Well, if you see one side drinking one color and the other side drinking the other color, you're definitely rooting for one team at that point, right?
Well, I don't think you're going to be rooting for the game for the color of the Gatorade. At least I hope you're not. I mean, I love sports to the point.
Funny.
It would. Well, listen, and let's face it. In my opinion, those are junkies. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I wasn't. I wouldn't. I used to bet. I'd bet 2 cockroaches running up the fucking wall and see who would hit the fucking ceiling first. But
player props in fantasy football is the only thing. I mean, the end of that Giants game that was terrible. Giants are getting completely blown out, and I got friends who are like glued to the screen to see who catches what. I mean, years ago we would have been like, forget that game, half asleep.
You're so right. When I was a kid, you're young, a lot younger than me, but I remember when I was young, we didn't have ESPN. We didn't have any of this shit. We used to watch, the network TV, and then we'd go out into the car, and in New York City, we'd watch 10-10 wins. Give me 22 minutes, you give us the world. And we used to give the sports scores at the 20 after the 40 and the top of the hour. They would have sports scores. So you'd wait in a car, freezing your balls off just to get the scores. Because I was a bookie. I did that football tickets when I was 11 years old. And I actually was talking to the guy that fucking the guy actually, he said to me, we were talking, I was in Ocean City, Maryland. He goes, Larry, I'm the one who corrupted you. I knew, of course, it's Louis, and I gave you your first gig. I was 11. I made $125 a week, Jordan, back in the day. I'm talking 1972, and I'm a kid hustling football tickets, getting $1, $2, $5 betters, and you get 25 cents a dollar. Hoping they win because I get a tip then. And it was amazing because the scores you couldn't. It was nothing like people today. You hit a fucking button, turn on your phone, and you got everything at your fingertips.
Oh yeah,
And that's
up
pretty
to
cool.
the minute you can stream and watch the game, and underneath it, bet what's going to happen next. It's crazy.
Well, Jordan, you guys have something great, and I was telling a guy again. We were talking about your site, Youwager.lv. Everybody, it's Youwager.lv, and about you can actually have $1 in your account, dollar, and watch a live pay-per-view fight that you would have to pay $70 maybe to watch, on pay-per-view, and you can actually watch the whole fight on your TV or wherever you stream your stuff or whatever it is, because you have it. Isn't it true? I was right.
Yeah, our live in-game streams a lot of different events that they're taking action on. So as long as you funded your account, you have access to the streaming, and they have a lot of stuff.
That's
hockey,
not bad.
Baseball, fights, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, when you stop doing wrestling, we have a talk. But
no, we don't take yet.
WWE. But it's amazing how you can do that. And I just told somebody, because we were talking about a fight, because I'm a fight fan, and I follow fights. I love fights. It's a shame that you're not getting what you want today. The boxing is nothing like it was when I was growing up. It was the preeminent sport when it was on. And even when you were even around, I mean, you're whatever age, you remember, obviously, fucking
Mike Tyson and Lennox
Oh,
Lewis and all.
and fucking the best, Mayweather. I mean, Mayweather made more money than anybody in the world in boxing, and you could watch his fights. I mean, you can get him any way you want. I mean, my brother and I were talking about that. We used to go to Ali Frazier fights and shit in the Meadowlands in New York, and Norton and Ali. I mean, Norton and Frazier, and then George Foreman. All of these fights, and you had to go to them. Literally go to them or watch them. Maybe watch them. Pay-per-view was just maybe coming out. Now, I don't even remember that. And then it was just fucking so much fun. I mean, the talk of the buzz of the city, the buzz of the school you're at, and sports was so big when we were kids. And I don't know if you remember a thing called Sportsline. They used to have a telephone number you can call. It's called Sportsline. So,
I don't remember.
And we used to beat up a kid for a dime to get the phone, to call the sports phone, because we all had bets on a game, and we didn't have dimes anymore. We ran out because every 15 minutes we're going to get the updated scores on sports phone. I mean, how times have changed. I'm getting a kick out of it. I'm really smiling my ass off, because I love the fact now that I can go somewhere, make a bet, and fucking enjoy a game. And big deal. You lose, okay, you lose a few $100 for whatever it is, or it's the excitement of winning. I mean, I don't care who you are. You like to win. And, it's funny because we were talking about my cigars today. We were smoking cigars. And I said, this company, I said, if you want, they go, man, what do these cost? I said, this box is $210. If you fucking didn't want the bonus, what they give my box of cigars away. How the fuck can you beat that? So you put your $500, you're going to bet anything. You didn't think anything. But you know what? Send me a box of Crooked Diamond cigars. Holy shit. I mean, you can't beat that. And you guys did that. Absolutely. You guys have the best props bet. Not prop bets, best deals, I guess they call it.
Best promotions. I like that one. Like, if you're going to buy a box of cigars, don't buy a box of cigars. Go fund a betting account. You don't know. You could win. And you get your box of cigars, so what? Might as well take a shot with the money instead of paying the money.
100%. I said, you're paying with everything, and we pay it. I cover the cost and stuff of the shipping and stuff, but you're now taking a box of cigars. Fucking, you're gonna pay $255 or whatever it is gonna be anyway. You're gonna buy it, and now fucking go take a shot. You still got $500 in there, and you know what? You have to bet it. I don't want everybody to know. You can't just say, oh, I'll take it out now. No, you can't do it. You got to bet it once at least. And now you take that. Yeah, you bet it. So now you bet. You got the Super Bowl. Throw a couple $100. You might win. Throw more. Before you know it, you either win. Even if you fucking lose, you got such entertainment. You got a free box of cigars. And that's that's why I like doing it, because we're talking about cigars. And I did this video the other day, and we were actually discussing. My guys were talking. We're gonna put like something in a video about like a fun thing, where a guy's throwing a football to another guy, and the guy catches the thing, and he drops the ball and says, "I'll take the cigars." I mean, something like that, and check Youwager out. So we were coming up with some ideas on how to do some shit, and we loving it. We're loving it. My whole team loves sports. My editor, Darian, played college football. He's in Canada, and he played college football. My son is a junkie for hockey like you, probably. I mean, this kid fucking, he's got Ranger season tickets, and he goes to, he got not only we got that, we got, where we got the fucking lounge and all that shit. And
I didn't know that. I'll have to talk hockey with him for sure.
Oh my God. You
I
talk
love
hockey to my son. Listen, I'll tell you guys, I'm going to tell you something happened to my son. And he had a betting site. Well, he caught where they were making a mistake. He had like a 28, 30-second miss when a goal happened near the end of the game, where before the line changed. He didn't say he's fucking killing it fucking every time. Bam, put it in. Bam, put it in. Bam, put it in. And he went for a while until they figured it out. This guy.
Oh, yeah. It's called pass posting. When you're at an event and you're betting it before.
Oh, is that what they call it? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Does it happen often?
It happens sometimes.
Do you find cheaters a lot? That's a good question.
A lot of people take shots. It's the nature.
When you
of
say
the
take a
industry.
shot, what do you mean? Like, I don't mean. Cheating to me is. I don't know. Cheating is knowing. Again, I don't even consider my son's thing cheating. I mean, they made a mistake. He was smart enough to pick it up. That's how I almost look at it. Obviously, your game is don't make that fucking mistake. When the fucking game scores, the line should change. I mean, immediately, or it goes off the board, obviously, and then it comes up a minute later. What do you guys consider cheating? That's a good question, actually.
That is a good question. I don't know if that's something that we should be answering on air.
But so you must know about it. All right. No.
But there's different people take shots. You'd be surprised. It's the nature of the industry. Like,
I get it.
Things that people try to do, and a lot of things. I mean, most things aren't cheating. The system's set up in a way to where you can play, and if you win, that's great, right? But certain things like that, like going to an event where it's going to be the live lines are going to come up too slow,
Right.
And
No,
sitting there betting in it.
Listen, I can see that happening like a college basketball game for fucking Rice versus fucking Tulane or some bullshit, game. But I get that. But I know, and listen, when I was a bookie, I fucking had, there was limits, obviously. You can't bet fucking 10 grand on a fucking bullshit game at a fucking Rice, because we know somebody's been fucking gotten to in that game. And we know that happened. I actually did a video, Jordan, on that basketball referee, and you know who I'm talking about, who was fixing games, actually.
Right.
I
saw
mean,
something on that.
Yeah, that's cheating to me. I mean, cheating to me is not trying to figure a way to messing, kind of like, I won't say messing up, being slow on something,
But like
stupid.
The UFC has pre-recorded fights before. That we would still have the lineup, and the fights were pre-recorded, and then we figure out that the fights were pre-recorded, and we take it down, obviously. And then you see a guy who's like a $10 better or something like that, all of a sudden dump his entire bankroll on this fight, and you're like, and then we find out that it's pre-recorded. I would call that cheating.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's funny, though. I mean, what you just said, because all of a sudden the guy fucking bets everything he's got. People don't understand they got patterns, obviously, and you must know them. You know your betters. Like, I used to know betters. Guys betting, and you know what the fuck he's going to, like, okay, he's a $200 better. All of a sudden he's betting fucking $1,000, $2,000. What's going on?
Or worse, he's betting limits, and you know it's a sure thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, might as well bet yourself, go off the line and bet yourself. Did you ever hear that guy, and I wanted to ask you this, did you ever hear about that guy who's the Jeopardy champ? named Hosal. He's a professional gambler. I didn't know if you
I
knew
know.
that.
He
Did
played
you
with
know
us back in the
what?
day. He had an account with us.
Did you cut him out?
No, no, we never cut him out.
I mean,
He only played with us for a little bit, but he did have an
and
account with us. He bet a lot of future stuff. It was a
did
lot
he
of.
win? Do you know? Or I mean,
I don't remember what his performance was overall. I'm sure. I mean, I heard he was a professional bettor. I'm sure that he did pretty well, right? But I
well,
don't
I
know.
mean, the guy was a G. I mean, you watched him on Jeopardy. Obviously, I mean, the guy was fucking right up there.
Amazing.
And yeah, amazing shit. I'm a Jeopardy junkie, and I'm pretty good at that shit. But fucking that's at a level that's just
You're
off
good
the
at the
charts. That
sports
Ken
stuff, huh?
Jennings. Yeah,
Ken Jennings.
I'm good at some geography. I'm good, certain like that, and history, and so that's my. I read thousands of books. I was in prison. What can I tell you? So, but I looked at him, and I just read an article. There's only 200, I think it is, who are actual professional gamblers who can actually make a living. And I'm not talking about setting lines. I'm talking against you guys. Against the bookie that they actually make money. Because you don't just got to do 50-50. You don't just got to do 51-41. To make a living, you got to be a fucking hell of a picker. Have you seen those guys? Have you picked them out? Have you ever
Oh, we
had one of them?
definitely have those guys. You definitely have those guys.
That they're that good that they could,
Yeah. That you're like, okay, this guy's moving the line.
Wow. And it's so that does happen. Wow. And do you don't cut them out or anything?
I mean, generally, no. It just depends.
The reason I asked you that is because, card counting. I mean, I understood it and know it, and I knew card counters and stuff. They get kicked out of the casino. They get shut down. They get blacklisted, and that's the end of that.
If a guy's winning, you're not going to cut him out. If a guy's just, you have some guys who win who are just sitting around trying to play mistakes in the lines, and that's all they're looking for. Those guys will probably get the boot.
Yeah,
We're not looking for a guy who's just looking to play mistakes.
Right, 100%.
Or our lines move slower than somebody else's, so they jump it or something like that.
Right. Obviously, the professional is the guy that runs the line. I mean, when the line is set, I remember when I was a kid, it was Jimmy the Greek. I don't know if you remember him. Jimmy the Greek was a guy that was, he'd set the lines. You know what I mean, literally,
Mm-hmm.
and then they move because of money and whatever. But the pros, the big pros, they wait for fucking 1 or 2 point swings that go their way, and that's what makes them a pro because they get that little advantage. That's okay. I got a
The
two
hook,
two point, yeah, And I look at that and I say, wow, these guys are really science. This is a science to them. This is not even fun. I mean, I go to gamble to fucking yell and scream at the guy because he missed a fucking 3-pointer or whatever the fuck it is, and I enjoy that part of it. That's the excitement, the win. But and then
analytics is coming into all of sports more and more, right? And that's definitely true on the gambling side too. Gamblers are smarter now than they've ever been, and the more it opens up and becomes legal, I mean, it's just now becoming a thing. Like you have all these big casinos starting up and whatnot, and you're going to see more services cater to them, and yeah.
Well, casinos, like I tell people, I was a very big casino gamble. I lost, the government estimated I lost $3 million, probably right. I remember losing $250,000 in 2 weeks back when I was, a bad
Wow.
guy. And they taxed me on that. That's how, fucking taxed me on that fucking casino cages. I didn't know they did that. But anyway, I look back, and now I'm looking down near the end of the show, and I'm looking, you gave us one prop bet right now. You gave us a prop bet, the two good receivers, getting a touchdown. That was it. Now, is that the only prop bets this week, or what do you have?
Oh, there's tons of
no,
them,
Jordan. We know you have a zillion prop bets. People want to hear what you, Jordan. First of all, people know you know what you're talking about. They want to know what you think, honestly, without. I know I'm going to get an email that says, "Yeah, he only said that because he wants us to go the other way." That I'm going to get an email.
Oh, not at all. I'm giving you great information, like what I would actually take.
No, I believe that. Obviously, I believe that. You're not worried about the $200 or whatever the fucking better. You'd rather have the guy who wants to have fun and bet, and that's it. So again,
And if
everybody.
I give you a good pick and you win off of it and you get paid, we'll have a client for life. I mean,
Right,
you'll
absolutely.
be happy, and that's even better, right?
Oh, I agree with that. That's why Youwager.lv, everybody. Youwager.lv, and you get 70% if you're a first-time guy. So that means if you put $500 up, you get $850. I can go right down. If you put $300, you get $520. Think of that. I mean, that's you're putting up $300 and you get 210 extra. I mean, think of that. That's fucking good money. So, I mean, that's free
really
money.
good.
That's free money. I mean, it's literally free money. I look at someone who says, "Oh, I put money in the side." I said, "Was it at Youwager?" And then one guy goes, "I didn't know what's Youwager." I go, "Don't you fucking watch my shit, you motherfucker?" And he looked at me. I go, "You get free money." He goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Listen, how much did you put in?" And I think he said $100 or $200. I says, "If you put 200 fucking bucks, you get 340. What do you mean?" I said, "Yeah, you can bet $340 or bet it any way you want. First time bet. That's it. I mean, once you do that, but you're going to see that these guys are legit. And if you have
we
a
always
problem,
have really. Go ahead.
yeah. Oh no, you got great customer service. I mean, I want to emphasize that. Really, I was with my brother, and I'll tell this story right on air. We were here at my office in the studio and where we hang out, and my brother and I aren't the most sharpest tools in the shed when it comes to a lot of this shit. And we look and we said, "All right, I'll go on, my brother." We didn't know what the fuck we were doing, how to do it. We called. Your guy called us back after we hung up, and he see that we still fucked up, called us back. We looked at everybody at the table, the four of us. They go, "Holy shit, you ever see that before?" No, because they fucking on. You get a live guy who speaks English. I'm going to tell you that. They speak
Good
fucking English. I know people are going to say, "Well, you going to speak fucking goddamn Indian? They can't fucking understand." No, and I'm not kidding you. They speak English, and they're good. In fact, listen to this. He texted us because we didn't answer. The ringer wasn't on the game, and the text but says trying to call you or some shit, and we answered. It was fucking amazing. It was like the first time that ever happened. I said I was going to tell you that, and we think that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Really good customer service. Really
Unbelievable.
Really good.
Are you known for that?
All the time? Yes.
Are you known for that?
Definitely. Because most sports books, offshore or otherwise, you can't pick up the phone and talk to somebody, which is why we get a lot of the prison guys who want to do everything from their phone. That's one. But we also get a lot of people who just they'd prefer to talk to a real human being. Rings twice. You're talking to a real person and do everything on the phone. Make sure you get what you want instead of trying to figure out how to do it themselves, at least in the beginning,
Yeah, 100%. I love that you do that. And I've never had a bad call. And it's fun. It really is funny because I did a YouTube video on prison guys with phones and how they got phones in prison, how they might have had a suitcase and put it up their ass and fucking a cellophane, and how they fucking take them with drones, how the guards bring them in, and how they're actually betting the Super Bowl. And I guarantee this Super Bowl, Jordan, I'm going to be thinking, how many motherfuckers are betting fucking football games? They put the bookie that was in prison. I was a bookie in prison. I used to do it for stamps and, that kind of shit. But stamps is money. And they're going to put those guys out of business. You got fucking so many cell phones in prison. They're going to fucking go out. So people got to watch that. It's a great video. Coming up 2 days. Actually, we're taping this a little early. So it's going to be Thursday's video is fucking, you got to watch it. It's going to be fun as shit. So, it's a lot of fun.
We got a great referral program too. So everybody's going to be watching Super Bowl with their friends and all. Sign up, tell your friends about it. You'll get bonus for referring your friends over as well.
So you get a bonus. So if you're on there and you say, hey, put up $100, you get or whatever bonus you get.
Yeah, it's a 100% referral bonus with a 2-time rollover. You got to play that twice. So if you it's up to $200. So if you're my buddy, I tell you to go and you go put in $200. I'm going to get another 200 free play just to play with for sending you over.
Wow. I didn't know it was that high. Holy fuck. That's a hell of a deal. You start building that up and you start playing, and before you know it, it's gone meaning it's over, rolled over as many, because it does. Listen, you got enough money. You put 10 guys up, man. That's fucking a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Really. Yeah, fucking $2,000.
We have people who do that. We have people who go on and refer tons of friends, and you look at their account and you're like, okay, this guy's deposited like once or twice in his whole life, and he's been playing for years, and he just keeps sending buddies. Get them to deposit for him.
All right, before we leave, we got predictions on the games, the unders and overs. I know it's just your prediction, and I'm going to give my prediction as well right now on who I think is going to win on Saturday and Sunday. But you're first. You're the professional, and I'm just the fucking dumb YouTuber that likes to play sports.
It's hard to go against the Bengals right now, but I am, even with the Mahomes injury and what happened last year, but I cannot not take points. Kansas City home dog. I'm taking that all day long. Give me Kansas City in that game.
On that game, I'm gonna go and concur. I've been a Mahomes fan. I've been a Kansas City fan. I think their defense has stepped up a lot more than people think. They always think Mahomes, obviously Kelce. They think all that, but they don't realize their defense has been stepping up. So I think in these games, defense is going to be good, and I do like them. With again, I can never ever not take points at home at this level of a year. That's us. So we're agreement on that game.
I think the
1.5.
line should be. I think that line's a little off. I think really Kansas City should be favored by 2.5, even up to 3, probably.
I said the same fucking thing. I said I could not believe. I think that at least they're going to be favored, whether it's 1, 2, 3, and I think the line's going to swing. I mean, that's my opinion.
I do too.
We'll see, but we'll see. Second game.
I'm going to stick with my San Francisco pick and stick with the dogs and take points. You know.
And I'm going against you this time. I am. I know you're taking the dog, Frisco against Philly. Why? That's at Philly. It's fucking, I don't know. Philly was a hot team coming in. So is Frisco. Don't get me wrong. Just that quarterback. Again, I've been wrong all year, so who the fuck knows?
All right.
But
outside of quarterback, okay? Outside of quarterback, what position group is Philly better than San Francisco at? Tight ends? No. Wide receivers? Questionable, probably not. Defensive line? No. Offensive line? Questionable, but I'm not sure. Secondary? No. I mean, so
besides
you
quarterback,
tell me, which one are they
besides
better?
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but I'll tell you this, and I said it earlier. I think the most important position in football is your coach and your quarterback. And I think,
it's true.
Don't get me wrong, I think as a coach, you are limited what you can do with Purdy. That's my opinion. Obviously, because he's a rookie. Really a rookie. I don't care what he was. Second year, really, technically. I think it is second year. But he's a rookie. And I'm not saying he hasn't performed. Go ahead.
Shanahan's system is set up to where he doesn't need Brock Purdy to come in and be Superman. That's why I was so surprised when they picked Trey Lance. He doesn't need an ad-libber up there. He needs a Jimmy G type who's going to deliver the ball on time and run his system. And Brock Purdy's proven that he can do that.
And I'm going to go with the defense that can. Again, they didn't do it in Dallas, but so it's kind of make me a little think. But a couple of stunts, couple of things, and they could throw this kid off. And God forbid he gets hurt. Then what? Forget it.
Right?
Are you gonna have a fucking wide receiver? I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you who. I don't know football who has 4 quarterbacks.
Right.
And if they do, so that's one thing. Also, they're at home, and you're talking about a big deal up north in Philly. The weather's supposed, cold at least. It's it's not fucking nice. This is their home, man. This is they're on a roll. I think
long way to travel too across country.
Yeah. Well, I think with traveling today, they got there already. They'll be there tomorrow, and they're good. I'm just going Philly in my that's my bet on that. We'll see who's right on those two bets.
I'll give you another prop bet that I like, and I think Hurts is still a little more hurt than people think. And so while I think he'll play well, and I think they aren't going to do as many designed QB runs, he'll still ad-lib or whatnot, I would go under 38 rushing yards for Hurts like that.
And I was talking about going over, and I'll tell you why. I saw him against the Giants. He was not scared to run. Obviously, they know each other. Obviously, Giants in the division, and He ran. He wasn't scared to run. I saw him fucking go out, go down. I mean,
He did, but it was ad-libbing plays, which he's gonna do. I just don't think they run as much design stuff to him because
I didn't say design, but Frisco's defense is pretty good, obviously. Yeah. So he might have to ad lib and he might have to run. So that one scares me as a prop bet. I mean, I get your reasoning. Again, if depending on the weather too, if you can't throw the ball, he's going to be thinking about more, runs, I don't think they're going to play with him. I don't think they're going to baby him at all, Jordan, because I don't think you can play with him. This is the fucking conference championship game. You're going to the Super Bowl if you win. So this is it. And he knows this. This is his opportunity. He's 2 games away from a fucking Super Bowl ring. Not many people get it. He's young and the team. And that team is really, I hate to say primed. I mean, they're ready. They're fucking at that stadium. I think that's a factor. I think it's going to be a factor. And I'm not saying, people say it means something, that 6th man they call it or whatever you want to call it on a basketball court or whatever. Same man. Thing here. Yeah, whatever it is. So I'm going with that's mine. And I'll tell you what I'm going to predict both games. I am predicting Cincinnati and Kansas City to go over. And I just think, they picked up a few things that they make mistakes on the last game. And I think it's going to be I think they're going to come out hot, Kansas City. And I don't think they know it. They know Cincinnati's explosive. So they got to go do that as well. And I think they want to palm. And then it's a fucking a running race. And the Philly game, I'm going under because of the fucking toughness of both defenses, really. I'm not saying the offenses aren't bad, but again, Purdy, they're going to probably do some more running. The Frisco's defense is tough. And I think it's going to be a tight game, but I'm going to go with Philly. And the under. That's my game.
The under as well in that game.
So, all right, Jordan, I love talking sports with you, man. I really do. We're going to do more of this. I love doing this. We got a lot of sports coming up. Having fun anyway. I don't give a shit about anything. It's fun. I can't believe I'm on here an hour and fucking 16. I mean, we talk sports. I can get into sports, and it's because I don't get that as much, anymore. I mean, I'm so busy.
Oh, yeah. Talk sports for hours. It's fun.
Yeah, you do. It's your business, man. You fucking know shit that I'll never know. I could tell you who's fucking getting drafted. I mean, I read about it, and then I say, fucking who. I'll bet you have a fucking line on the draft.
Oh, we do. Draft props are fun. We always have fun with that.
I love it, guys.
Preseason is fun. When that comes around, I'll tell you how to make money in preseason. I've got some great ways.
I love it. Jordan, I really want to thank you. Everybody, thank you, Jordan, first of all, for coming on. We're going to do it again for sure. Everybody, this is Jordan, who's the general manager. He's the manager of Youwager.lv. That's Youwager.lv. Make sure you go check them out. Listen, go on there. If you have an issue, I don't give a shit what issue you have. Pick up the phone, and the issue is solved. You don't get easier than that.
1-800-YOUWAGER. 1-800-YOUWAGER. Give us a call.
Is that what it is? 1-800-YOU-WAGER?
Yep. YOUWAGER. 1-800-YOUWAGER. It's just that easy. Call us up to open you up an account or go online, Youwager.lv. Go ahead, opened it up. Use Larry's promo code for the best deal in the business. That's
Lawton,
promo code Lawton.
Listen, if you tell that guy, it's Larry Lawton, I want the Lawton deal, he's going to put Lawton in there. He's going to put it in there. But put Lawton in there and you get, 70%. You can't get that any fucking where in the planet. Free money, literally. Put $100. You want to put $170 on the game? You put $170 on the game. That's free money. I mean, what the fuck? You can't beat that. You really can't. It's one of the best deals out there. Or the cigars, and I like the cigars. So
or
that's
the
my
book
deal.
deal.
Yeah,
send $100, get your book.
Yeah, absolutely. You send $100, you get a free Reality Check Pro signed by me, and I'm going to sign them. In fact, the cigar deal is the same. Well, if they want them, if I'll open them, we normally don't, but if they want them, we'll ask them, and I'll open the cellophane and sign the book. We do the box of cigars. People actually, I was here today. People wanted signed boxes, so we're doing that as well. But Jordan, we're gonna have fun. Let's see who's winning. Remember what we picked? I got Philly, you got Frisco, and we both got Kansas City.
We both got Kansas City.
And we both got the over, and we both got the under. So there's only one bet we're different. We'll see who's right. Jordan, have a great week, man. And I will see you soon, Jordan. Have a great day, everybody. This is Larry Lawton. We are out. Please, everybody, make good choices. You bet. Be responsible. Have fun with it and enjoy it. This is you. Go to Youwager.lv. And trust me, these guys are great guys. Have a great day, everybody. Please stay safe.